15 foods that may increase your risk of cancer. Cancer is one of the most feared health conditions in the world. Every year, millions of people are diagnosed, and while genetics and environment play a major role, lifestyle choices, especially diet, are also powerful contributors. The truth is, food can either be your best medicine or your slowest poison. While many foods are known to strengthen immunity and protect cells, others may silently increase your risk of cancer when consumed regularly or in large amounts. The purpose of this article is not to scare you, but to help you recognize which foods to limit or avoid so you can protect yourself and your loved ones. Let's explore 15 common foods and food categories that may increase cancer risk, along with the science behind them and healthier alternatives you can embrace. Processed meats. Hot dogs, bacon, sausages, and deli meats are staples in many American diets. Unfortunately, the World Health Organization has classified processed meats as Group 1 carcinogens, the same category as tobacco. Why? Because they contain nitrates and nitrites, chemical preservatives that can convert into cancer-causing compounds in the body. Regular consumption of these meats is strongly linked to colorectal and stomach cancers. If you love sandwiches, consider swapping deli meats with grilled chicken breast, turkey slices, or plant-based protein. Red meat excess consumption. Red meat itself is not inherently dangerous, but eating it excessively, especially beef, lamb, and pork, has been associated with an increased risk of colorectal cancer. Cooking red meat at high temperatures, such as grilling or pan frying until charred, creates heterocyclic amines HCAS and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons PAS, both of which are carcinogenic. Moderation is key. If you enjoy steak, try limiting portions and cooking at lower temperatures. Balance your diet with more fish, beans, and lentils for protein. Fried foods. Crispy fried chicken, French fries, and onion rings may be delicious, but frying at high heat creates acrylamide, a chemical linked to cancer in laboratory studies. In addition, fried foods are often high in unhealthy fats, which contribute to inflammation and obesity, to major cancer risk factors. Air frying or oven baking can give you a similar texture without the dangerous compounds. Replacing fried snacks with roasted nuts or baked vegetable chips is another smart choice. Sugary drinks and sodas, soft drinks, energy drinks, and even sweetened fruit juices are packed with sugar. Excess sugar leads to obesity, diabetes, and chronic inflammation, all of which increase cancer risk. Research has linked high sugar intake with breast and colorectal cancers. What makes it worse is that sodas often contain artificial colorings and preservatives, adding more chemical burden to the body. Switch to water infused with lemon, herbal teas, or sparkling water without added sugar for a refreshing alternative. Excess alcohol. While moderate wine consumption is often praised, too much alcohol is a well-documented risk factor for cancers of the mouth, throat, esophagus, liver, breast, and colon. Alcohol breaks down into acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that damages DNA. The American Cancer Society recommends limiting alcohol to no more than 1 drink per day for women and 2 for men. If you want to socialize without alcohol, try mocktails made with fresh fruit, sparkling water, and herbs. Refined carbohydrates. White bread, pastries, cookies, and other refined carbs have a high glycemic index, causing rapid spikes in blood sugar. Elevated blood sugar and insulin levels promote inflammation and may fuel the growth of cancer cells. Studies suggest that diets high in refined carbs are linked to higher risks of breast and colorectal cancers. Replace white bread with whole grains, such as brown rice, oats, or quinoa. Not only do they stabilize blood sugar, but they also provide cancer-fighting fiber. Artificial sweeteners. While often marketed as healthier than sugar, certain artificial sweeteners such as aspartame and saccharin have been controversial. Some animal studies raised concerns about their potential role in cancer, although human studies remain inconclusive. Still, relying heavily on artificial sweeteners may disrupt metabolism and encourage cravings for sweet foods. If you need a sugar alternative, try natural options like stevia, monk fruit, or small amounts of raw honey. Canned foods with BPA linings. Many canned foods are lined with bisphenol A BPA, a chemical that can leach into food and act as an endocrine disruptor. Disrupted hormones are closely linked to breast and prostate cancers. While not all canned products contain BPA, it is safer to choose brands that advertise BPA-free packaging or switch to fresh or frozen produce whenever possible. Glass containers are another excellent alternative. Pickled and highly salted foods. In some cultures, pickled vegetables and heavily salted foods are common. However, consuming them in excess may raise the risk of stomach cancer due to high salt content and potential carcinogenic byproducts from fermentation. Salt damages the stomach lining, making it more vulnerable to carcinogens. If you love pickles, enjoy them occasionally, but focus more on fresh vegetables and lightly seasoned foods. Smoked foods. Smoked meats and fish carry a unique flavor, but the smoking process produces PAS and nitrosamines, both known carcinogens. Eating smoked foods frequently may increase the risk of stomach and colorectal cancers. For safer alternatives, try baking, steaming, or roasting foods while using herbs and spices to create depth of flavor without harmful smoke compounds. Microwave popcorn with artificial butter. Microwave popcorn may seem harmless, but the artificial butter flavoring often contains diacetyl, a chemical linked to lung problems and possibly cancer risk. In addition, the bags are sometimes coated with perfluorooctanoic acid (FOA), a substance associated with cancer. A safer choice is to air pop popcorn at home and flavor it with olive oil, herbs, or nutritional yeast. Charred or grilled foods that smoky barbecue flavor comes at a cost. Cooking meat at high heat until it chars produces carcinogenic HCAS and PAS. Eating charred meats regularly is associated with pancreatic and colorectal cancers. To reduce risk, marinate meats before grilling, which can decrease carcinogen formation, and avoid direct exposure of meat to flames. Pair grilled dishes with antioxidant-rich vegetables to help counteract damage. Dairy excessive intake. Dairy is controversial in cancer research. Some studies suggest high consumption of dairy products, especially whole milk, may increase the risk of prostate and ovarian cancers. The hormones present in dairy, along with high levels of saturated fat, may contribute to these risks. Moderation is essential. Consider plant-based alternatives, like almond, oat, or soy milk if you consume dairy daily. Highly processed snacks. Chips, packaged cookies, and instant noodles are convenient, but they often contain preservatives, trans fats, and artificial additives, all of which contribute to inflammation and poor health. Regular consumption has been associated with higher cancer risk due to the chemical load they introduce into the body. Preparing homemade snacks, like roasted chickpeas, fruit slices, or Greek yogurt with nuts, is both safer and healthier. Excessive fast food burgers, fries, and pizza are part of modern convenience culture. Unfortunately, they often combine multiple cancer-promoting factors: refined carbs, unhealthy fats, processed meats, and high sodium. Eating fast food regularly promotes obesity, a major cancer risk factor. If you enjoy fast food, try limiting it to occasional indulgence and balance with home-cooked meals full of vegetables, lean protein, and whole grains. How food choices affect cancer risk. Cancer develops when normal cells become damaged and start growing uncontrollably. While genetics and environment matter, food plays a direct role by either fueling or fighting these changes. Processed foods, refined sugars, and harmful chemicals can cause chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and DNA damage, conditions where cancer thrives. On the other hand, a diet rich in vegetables, fruits, fiber, and healthy fats supports the body's natural defense systems, detoxifies carcinogens, and strengthens immunity. Practical advice for everyday eating: focus on whole, minimally processed foods. Fill half your plate with colorful vegetables and fruits. Choose lean proteins like fish, beans, and poultry over processed or charred meats. Limit alcohol and sugary drinks. Stay hydrated with water or herbal teas. Read labels carefully to avoid hidden chemicals, additives, and excess salt. The goal is not perfection but awareness. You don't need to cut out every food listed above forever. Instead, reduce your exposure and balance it with more protective foods. Final thoughts: your daily diet can either raise your cancer risk or help lower it. By being mindful of what you put on your plate, you can make small but powerful changes that protect your long-term health. Remember, cancer prevention doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent, smart food choices that build up over time. Next time you go grocery shopping, think twice about processed meats, sugary drinks, and charred foods, and instead fill your cart with whole grains, fresh fruits, and colorful vegetables. Your body will thank you, and your future self will too.